Just a minute here. I'm getting the meeting on our stream. Okay, and hopefully you can all see the agenda. I sent the link to Lexi. I don't know if it's been posted.
Yeah, I was just checking.
You just got to confirm our link is posted, and then we can start. So.
I'm pinging her as well.
You have audio on yours. You turn the audio down.
Yeah, what about, she's actually streaming the video on our page.
Great. We are online and running, so. Alex, if you want to start the meeting, I'll pull up the agenda. Alex, we can't hear you yet. Alex, can you hear me?
I can now. We ready to go?
There we go. Yeah. All right, I think we're functional now.
30 years.
Looks like we've got a quorum.
Yes, we have everybody present. Pretty good for last
Very
minute.
good. Yeah, that's very good. Well, this is important. So good morning, everyone. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedules or other things to be here with us today to consider this important opportunity with Pleasant Grove. So we just thank you for that and look forward to the discussion. So the first item on the agenda is consideration of this resolution that would execute a service contract between Pleasant Grove City and UIA. And so Roger, do you want to give us the background on that?
Yeah, so we've been talking to Pleasant Grove for quite a while, several years, and it's been a good relationship. We've had a lot of opportunities in the city to build our footprint, just as businesses and schools and others have requested services. And so we've got a decent amount of revenue there. We've got a decent amount of fiber footprint, and as we've done that, that's kind of changed the overall modeling for the city to the favor, because there's less of an incremental cost to build it out. It's also faster and easier. A lot of the obstacles we normally face are not there because we've already gotten past them, such as canal crossings and railroad crossings, things like that. So we've just kind of gone back to the city occasionally and to gauge the level of interest. And it's just really over the last few months, and not as a surprise under the situation with COVID, the demand has skyrocketed, and they've been very, very supportive. This current council, the meetings were great, and they've been very anxious to get this to their residents. We've did a modeling with them, and the economics of it are pretty low as far as what take rate is needed in the associated revenue pledge. this is the same model. You know, we try really hard to keep things standard, and sometimes we have to change or tweak something that's not meant to change the balance, but maybe change the structure a little bit, but we didn't need to do that with this one. This one is cookie cutter with other deals we've done. And so it looks really good. We had a meeting with them on Tuesday night at the city council meeting to approve this agreement, and it was a good discussion. There was no negative comments. It was a unanimous vote from the city council in support of this. And really all the debate was do my neighborhood first or do my neighborhood? How do I sign up? And you know, it was an extremely supportive and positive environment there for this. And so we're really excited about it. I think from a take rate perspective and revenue and all of that, it looks very, very good. It does border our highest take rate city, Linden, with very similar demand and demographics and all of that. I'd say similarly to Orem, it's right by Orem where we do very well from a take rate perspective. Our reported take rate's not nearly as high in Orem, but that's because we have a significant area that's brand new in Orem. We've been building a lot in that city, and we do expect to have similarly high take rates in Orem as well as we give it some more time. But anyways, we're very, very optimistic about this and excited for the partnership. It's a pretty good sized city too, you know, so the other concern on this that we sometimes get from the board is this going to hold us up? You know, and that's a real concern depending on the size of the project we're taking on. And, you know, we may or may not feel like that's worth doing if there's a scarcity of resources. At this point, we anticipate no impact to our build-out schedule of the original Utopia cities. We couldn't do 5 Pleasant Groves and say that's true, but, you know, Pleasant Grove is enough size that if we were to do, you know, our commitment to them and the timeline of everything only puts us at about 500 homes of construction monthly as far as homes passed. And that's, I think it's a little less than a quarter of our capacity of build. And that is available for this. So we're going in and really without any downsides or concerns. It's I think it's a great partnership opportunity for us.
So Roger, what is the anticipated time? Roger, what is the anticipated timeline, build timeline?
So in the agreement, we specify 24 months. You know, we think we can have it built out in about a year and a half to completion, with the first areas coming online after about 7 or 8 months. So from about 7 or 8 months out to a year and a half was when we're announcing new areas. It's also a good time because we're going to be wrapping up the construction in Clearfield. We're mostly done with that project, and so all the resources and construction crews doing Clearfield can move pretty seamlessly down to Pleasant Grove, so it's good timing for this.
How the take rates going in Clearfield?
Well, Clearfield's just getting built, which means we're just at that point of making it available for signups. So it's construction goes first, and then sales and marketing coming at the tail end.
Roger, I'd be curious. Well, I shouldn't say I don't suspect there will be any because I don't know, but I'd be interested in Mayor Acherson's and Jamie in particular, their assessment of Pleasant Grove. I know the manager there, he's very good and confident, but any concerns from you two gentlemen, board members? You know the city probably better than any of us, being a neighbor to them. Any concerns that you would have or things we ought to be aware of or be mindful of as we go into this? Mayor and Jamie?
As far as Linden's concerned, we're excited that they've made that decision to reach out and implement Utopia. I know talking with Mayor Fugel, he's time and time again he's expressed frustration on behalf of their city, and what's currently available or the providers. Not that their service is not up to snuff, but it's just the cost. It's been quite a bit of difference, and so he's excited about the opportunity to have another alternative, something that has high quality service and provides what he feels the city needs. And, you know, it's a sister city, so we're glad that they've made that decision. So we're supportive of it. The only concern I would have is I just want to make sure Orem, that their time frame doesn't get pushed back in any way. You know, they're also a sister city, and we have a great relationship with them, and want to make sure their build out continues to move forward in the pace that they envision it to do. So, Jamie?
Thank you, Mayor.
No, I would just add what Mayor Acherson has said. I have a lot of appreciation and respect for obviously Pleasant Grove administration. Their current elected officials, I think, are very much on board. This has been a focus for them for several years. And as Roger stated, I think it was, I guess you could say that COVID was a catalyst to kind of finally get them to move and to make a decision. And no, we're excited to have them, to have another Utopia member here in Utah County. I think it speaks to the growing strength of Utopia, and especially here in the Silicon Slopes area, it reinforces the standard, which is now becoming fiber, above and beyond what other incumbents can provide. So, yeah, and I appreciate Mayor Acerson's comments as to Orem's build out. I appreciate what UIA and Utopia have done here recently in accelerating those build outs. Very, very positive feedback. And my hope and desire is obviously that we can grow, continue to grow and finish Orem, and hopefully get it done before we get Pleasant Grove done. So compliments to Roger and his team for helping us and accelerating the efforts here in Orem.
Thank you, Jamie. Any other board members have any concerns or questions about this proposal? Okay, well, very good. Well, unless Josh directs me otherwise, let's go ahead and make a motion to adopt Resolution 2103, which is to approving the execution, if it's approved, approving the execution of a service agreement between UIA and Pleasant Grove City. So let's do a roll call vote. Brandt, Centerville?
Aye.
We haven't had someone.
You need a
make
motion
it
first,
yet.
I'll make that motion.
Oh.
Mayor Acersson will make
I
that
apologize.
and I second.
You guys
Get excited
are
about
details. I apologize. Thank you for that catch. Mayor Acherson, you made the motion. Who was the second?
Brandt, I was.
Okay. I had to go back to bed and get up again. I apologize. All right, we have a motion from Mayor Acherson and a second from Brandt. Now we'll do that roll call vote. So Brandt?
Aye.
Jamie?
Yes.
Jason? Sant?
Aye.
Did you say aye, Jason?
Yes, I did. I said aye.
Okay, thank you. Brenda?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Mayor Acherson?
Aye.
Matt Dahl?
Aye.
And Jason from Brigham?
Aye.
Okay, and Leighton is an aye as well. Very good, thank you. Did I miss anybody?
No.
Okay. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is considering approval of Resolution 2104, which authorizes the issuance and sale of debt, no more than $21 million in debt, franchise tax revenue bonds to fund this bill. And Roger, do you have a little background on that? You talked about it's the same structure, but maybe talk about take rate projections and what we anticipate in terms of the market. And we have our good friends, supporters, Brad and Laura on as well, as you've seen. So any comments you have, Laura or Brad, we're delighted to hear.
Yeah, I'd love to have them talk to the financing transaction and parameters and that. As far as what it means in revenues and take rates, it's a pretty low bar. We're at, I'm trying to remember the number because there are different assumptions of business and residential blended in there. You guys remember that number? we're at. I should have that number in front of us. We know what the dollar figure is. That's right in there in the contract.
Dollar figure and the subscription, the total number, but I don't remember from a take rate perspective what it is.
I may have to look that up, because they're not actually committing to a take rate, they're committing to a revenue figure, but it was low. I think we're talking something in the 33% take rate or below, which when you're looking at any, Linden next door, which continues to grow. I think we've told you in the past, well, here we're at 58%, 59. I think the latest number is 62% in Linden. And so it just, take rates continue to climb. And so to have Pleasant Grove anywhere in the 30s, I would come in with a lot of confidence, and we're low 30s. So depending on and that's assuming only residential revenues. When we go in there and say, hey, we actually have businesses in there, schools, governmental, wireless carrier connections, bulk MDU properties, things like that, the blended take rate then only needs to be closer to 30%. So depending on which number you're looking at, we're either 33 or 30% blended. So anyways, Brad or Laura, do you want to speak to the?
Good morning, everybody. This is Brad Patterson. I'm with Kilmore Well. Okay, sure. Logically incompetent. Anyway, I hope everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me okay?
You got thumbs up there nodding on them.
Okay, good. What we have here is we have a resolution similar to what we've adopted in the past as it relates to these one-off projects we've done. For example, what we did in Morgan as well as up in Clearfield as well. These bonds are going to be secured by the revenues that are generated by the service contract, and in the service contract there's a pledge of their franchise tax revenues that will be used to support payment of the bonds. What we have here is the resolution that authorizes the issuance of those bonds. After we take this action, there will be one final thing that we will need to do, and that will be to hold a public hearing. That public hearing is going to be scheduled for May 10th. This is pursuant to the Utah Municipal Bond Act that we have to have a public hearing prior to issuing any bonds. So that public hearing will be held on May 10th. In addition, on that May 10th meeting, we'll have a discussion with respect to the preliminary official statement. That's the offering document that goes out to the investing public. And it'd be important for you folks to have a copy of that. We were not able to assemble it in sufficient shape, in sufficient time to be able to provide it to you today, to give you a chance to review it. And we felt it was important that you actually have a chance to review that ahead of time. So we will hold off on the discussion of that document until the May 10th public hearing. But what we are doing today is we're going to authorize the issuance of the bonds. This is the action that basically puts things in motion. It authorizes the bonds to be issued as long as we don't issue more than $21 million of bonds. They can't have an interest rate that exceeds 5.5% per annum. They can't be maturing more than 30 years from their issuance date, and on top of that, they can't be sold at less than 97% of their principal amount. We also, in this resolution, authorize certain designated officers to complete the complete the issuance of the bonds. They'll be signing a variety of different documents. They'll also be making determinations as it relates to pricing, as long as all those metrics that we discussed previously, all those parameters aren't exceeded. And so with that, I'll be happy to entertain any questions, or I can turn the time over to Laura, and she can also provide a little bit more detail.
I'll just let you know that the market is great. Those of you that may have been in the bond market of late, as I know Orem was, interest rates are phenomenally low. We're not at the all-time lows, but we're very, very low. And so, we've been tasked with trying to strike while the iron's hot here, and we're going to be moving this ahead quite rapidly. The current plan is to be a bit of a newsflash for you, for Brad. We're hoping to have the rating presentation on May 6th, so I'll need the OS the week before that. We'll have typically we give them 2 weeks to get back to us, so I anticipate pricing before the end of May and closing in early June. And, you know, while the interest rates that Orem received recently on their water bonds, they're, you know, Orem is very highly rated, water systems, great. I think we were less than 2.25. Is that right, Jamie? I mean, I should have pulled it up, but it was
2.377.
There you go. For, you know, 25-year debt, you kind of can't beat that. And while I'm not expecting the rate on these bonds to be that low, it's still going to be, you know, again, very, very low and competitive rate. So we're ready to rock and roll.
May I ask a question, Laura? And I am probably going to attribute this to mistakes in the Daily Herald, but it mentioned in the Daily Herald article that they were essentially going to backstop the project, which will cost the city about $7.9 million. And then I saw the bond paperwork and it was up to $21 million. And I'm like, there's probably
we're over there shaking our head when they said that in the meeting. We're just like, no, that's not the amount, but they said it, and then that's what the Herald captured in the news article.
So it is a 21.
The cost is what, 18 something?
Yeah.
17.9 million.
There you go.
That's what we have stated in the contract.
Yes, and then, yeah, on top of that, you know, cost of issuance, and I always put a little bit of fluffy headroom for, you know, safety. But yes, I expect it's going to be very close to 20 million. I don't know where 7 million came from.
So they just unfortunately latched onto a misquoted number.
Yep. Yeah, the city knows what the real number is.
It's in the service agreement that you're adopting. It's in that same service agreement that they executed.
Because when I saw that 7.9 million, I thought, sign me up for that.
Orem wants to double down.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions of Laura or Brad? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion then to approve this resolution. It's 2104, authorizing the issuance and sale of this, of not more than $21 million in debt, and setting that public hearing that Brad mentioned, which tentatively or proposed to be the 10th of May.
The 10th, yes.
10th of May. Is there a motion?
So moved, Alex.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Matt. Thank you. Any discussion on that motion or concerns? Okay, if not, let's do a roll call vote again. Jamie?
Yes, aye.
Brant?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Brenda?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Mayor Aitchison?
Aye.
Jason Roberts?
Aye.
Jason Sand?
Aye.
And Leighton is an aye. I believe that's unanimous.
You have everyone.
Did I miss anybody, Kristen?
No.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Well, very good. Are there any other items that need to be discussed, either from the board's perspective or Roger from staff's perspective?
I don't think so. We promised to keep it short and sweet, so we're excited. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, very good. Thanks again to everyone for taking time to join this morning. This is as Jamie inferred, this is, I think, a really big deal, given its location and the reputation that Pleasant Grove has as a good quality, well-managed, well-run city. I think it just adds to the strength, the growing strength of Utopia, politically and operationally as well. So it's I think it portends continued very good things to happen all across the state. So thanks to everybody and for your involvement. Again, Laura and Brad, it's always good to see you, and we very much appreciate at a very personal level you guys and the friendship and partnership that we've had with you through the years, the good and the bad. And it's fun to be part of the realization of the original vision, not to keep talking too long, but most of you in here online, all of you are benefactors of it, but some of you, you know, I won't name names, so I'll miss somebody, but you know who you are part of the really hard times and kept this thing moving. And what a blessing it's been to the state and to all our communities for that stubbornness and resiliency that's kept us in this thing. So my hat's off to all of you. Appreciate you. Wish the best. So with that, have a wonderful day till we meet again here shortly.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay.